StreetSeasoning, the Mobcast. Pay us an attention. Yeah, that I dig.
This is street seasoning with all the ingredients. The topic be the reasoning to the app we streaming in. Wherever that we need them. Passing thoughts, she and him. All together we in him.
Like, sub, share with your friends.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, Kansas City.
What it do?
Same thing. All day, already. You know that.
Yo, my name is Bullit.
Kapacity, the Scorpion.
Welcome to the show, man. Look, this little episode we got right here is about care. Because, you know, we have these debates sometimes about who cares and what they care for. What's the difference? They always say, what's the difference? What difference does it make? Who cares?
So, who cares? What difference does it make?
We gonna break that down. We're gonna break that word down because we trying to figure out really who does care. If you don't know the definition, if you ain't privy to the etymology or whatever it is, I don't even know. No, we just figured this out just not too long ago, so we just trying to figure out who really cares.
Who really cares? Etymology, that's a good word. You learn that word, these big words.
Man, you know, cause it ain't that big, you know. It's just a regular word, but you know, let's see.
Well, we gonna get into all of that. Words, books, where you can find words.
Let's talk about though. Can you care too much or too less? You know, we trying to figure out what care means and what the word means, but can you care because too much or too less? Because being a man, having a woman can say that you don't care enough. And as a man, having a woman, we can say that she cares too much. You dig? So, with that being said, it's like, can you care too much? There's all types of levels to this. There's people who put a lot into it. I mean, like I was saying earlier, bro, at some point in time, I think we cared when we was kids, and then life started life, and when we got older, niggas' jobs and, you know, passing, babies being born, money, bills. So you kind of like develop, what's the word I'm trying to use? I can't think of the word. Like you can't feel it. You
desensitized.
There you go, desensitized. That's what I was trying to say. It seems like, you know, you could be desensitized to caring because of life, man. So there's a lot of things that be going on in life, obstacles, you know, and, you know, you have some people who, if they figure out that you do care, can use you because of that. We were saying earlier, you know, straight up, like, you know, you don't want to be called a so, you know.
Don't hurt them.
You got to figure that word out. You know, you don't want to be called that because you care too much, you know. So sometimes, man, it's kind of hard, especially, once again, if you don't know the word. That's what I'm trying to, you know, get across to you. You might not understand what the word is. You got, you know, a show that comes on a YouTube, Dr. Rashad Ritchie, and there's a segment in there that
I'm familiar
says,
with that name.
I know you familiar, but there's a segment on there that says, I wish a Karen would. Just to use that word and see this Karen using her white privilege because she cares so much and thinks other people care that she's white is where I'm going, or where we going with this conversation. because she really cares.
Karen.
And her name is Karen. Of all things to name her, man, I think that was just beautiful. But you just got to keep that in your Rolodex because we're going to get back to that in a second. So sometimes you got selective care. I'm thinking some people only care about the things that go on in their life that affect their lives. And if it don't affect their life, then I don't care about that. Like for instance, like remember when Lil Wayne said, ain't no white man and no police ever did nothing to me. When I got shot, the police was there and, he saved me.
Okay.
So he says he don't, that's evidently showing you that he don't care because ain't nothing happened to him. The police ain't did nothing to him. Mind you, he done been to the penitentiary and had to get pardoned and all type of stuff. But, that's another subject. But,
don't forget your point, man.
No, I'm saying like selective care. Seriously, like, if it doesn't happen to you, you might not care about it. If it doesn't affect your realm or your homies or your household or your family, you tend to be desensitized. For
exactly. A lot of people say they could care less.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, seriously. And I've been one of those that's been, told that I care less. My mom used to tell me, you don't care enough. You let things roll off your sleeve. But I'm like, damn, if I let everything attach to me, I'd be just as crazy as you, crying and cussing and fussing and screaming, which we gonna get to. Can you care for yourself?
Most people cannot. Most people can't think for themselves, especially in this day and age.
You did. I might have to drop a bomb or something on that if I could find one.
We'll stick one in there.
I think we got one, bro. No, that's gunshots. Yeah. So some people can't, for whatever reason it is. But, still, we was talking about
Karens.
No, the law, the first law of nature is self-preservation. So caring for yourself, and if showing that you really care for yourself. For instance, I know a chick that she dresses really well, and she used to get flack from the other women because she wasn't dressing like them, because she really cares for herself and she really had to go through whatever it is because other people see that she cares for herself. They might not care for themselves that much. She looks outside of the norm because you look like you caring for yourself too much, too much even.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't think that she cares too much. Like you said, it's self-preservation.
Well, nah, she really cared for herself a lot, dog. I mean, for real, though. But it could be that, too, because it's just her. So,
I don't know if I'm getting off the subject or not, but I think all women want to be pampered,
Yeah, but she was not being pampered, so that's why she was going so hard in the paint. So
she was pampering herself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they do.
Shit.
If they can afford to, they gonna try to figure it out.
Like I was saying, sometimes you can be labeled selfish for trying to take care of yourself. They said that how can you take care of anybody else or anything else if you don't take care of yourself? So
that's a good question. And once again, a lot of people do just the opposite. They take care of others and don't take care of themselves.
Right.
You ever been to the beauty shop and the lady that's doing the hair looks like she need her hair done, or the barber? At least I know at the barbershops, well, they do the same thing at the beauty shops. They gonna cut each other's hair, do each other's hair, but when they can get to it,
Well, I don't know. I see some that, I don't know.
A lot of people give they last and they'll walk away with nothing. I know a lot of people that get a shirt off their back, man.
Yeah, especially if they figure out, that that's what you can do for them, and they just keep coming back and asking because do you care too much? Or do you care too less? Like, I don't care, nigga. Here, take this and blah, 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 and kick rocks. You know what I mean? It's
Let's just get, with that being said, let's just get down to the bottom of who cares? Who cares?
That's hard to say. That's what we were saying from Jump Street. Like, that's a personal option to yourself before, and if you don't know the definition of it, how can you actually say that you care? Like I was saying, if you stop smoking, the first thing somebody probably ask you is why, and then they'll probably say, it's more for me. It ain't like they care, that's not caring. The original definition, the emotional side of caring, right?
Copy.
If you stop drinking, first thing they say is what? You sick? Lose weight. What you doing? Smoking crack? Not
exactly.
Not, bro. You look good, man. What you been doing, man? You losing weight. On a positive side,
When in fact that you might just start taking better care of yourself.
Exactly. It beats, the continuation goes right back to, can you care for yourself or not? If you somebody who's eating wrong, all the food is wrong. All the food's supposed to have this in it and that in it. The vegetables and the fruit ain't number 9. So it's not organic, right? The water is wrong. By the time you get through with all this, you drinking and smoking, like I said, can you care for yourself? Because you can't. Then healthcare comes into, existence. That's what healthcare is for, pretty much. Because you couldn't do it yourself, right?
Exactly.
They say, what's the difference? What difference does it make, right? Once again, we got an etymology online. We can look this up nowadays and see what does care really mean, right?
Let's get care up on the line. What does care really mean? Let's see.
I got one up already. I just want to read this couple of these parts of this one that I got up, but you can, that's not the one that I got, but just check this out real quick. The definition of the word care has shifted from its original emotionally heavy roots to a more functional, professional, and often impersonal term, driven by the professionalization of medicine and changing societal structures. The word has moved from describing internal states of sorrow to describing external actions of service and management. See, when we was breaking this down earlier, that just strictly means that they just made drugs and they made hospitals and institutions like mental institutions to help you with your care. Let's not worry about your what you used to do for yourself. Let us help you. I got to say this one more time.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Read that for him again, please.
I got to.
Please.
One more again. The definition of the word care has shifted from its original emotionally heavy roots to a more functional, professional, and often impersonal term, driven by the professionalization of medicine and changing societal structures. The word has moved from describing internal states of sorrow to describing external actions of service and management. Man, that's a cold piece, man.
That's dope.
That's a cold
because
piece.
Just tell them what that's saying. See, it puts us in a box.
I told you, man. It's
by using the word care.
It's no longer what you think it is, because you can't. It's basically that you can't care for yourself, so let us care for you. Since we made these drugs and these places where you can go to for us to help you, You no longer have to help yourself.
Well, the word care is not the same as caring.
No. That's when you go into a major shift has occurred where care refers to a professionalized, quantifiable service provided by professionals, while caring refers to the emotional connection.
So, can you do the same? Can you do both at the same time?
Care and caring?
Yes.
Probably if you're in the medical field and you're caring for somebody, because care is actually
Like a nurse.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a doctor that might actually care.
So in the medical settings, the rise of evidence-based clinical guidelines has sometimes replaced empathy with technical efficiency. Man, that just lets you know that you can't do this by yourself, basically.
You can't care for yourself, is what you're saying.
Don't have no empathy about nothing.
So
it replaced empathy with technical efficiency. That means our machine runs better than your empathetic feelings. So you don't have to care. We have techs for you that are efficient.
technicians, doctors, nurses, Band-Aids, and people who bring pharmaceuticals.
Okay, so let's flip the script. Black's Law Dictionary, the 4th edition, states that there are 3 degrees of care, inversely called the 3 degrees of negligence. Now, I don't know if you heard me with that. Black's Law definition says there are 3 degrees of care, inversely called the 3 degrees of negligence. That's a hell of a word to use, 3 degrees of negligence. The 3 degrees of them are called slight, ordinary, and great. We don't really have to go into that because you can look that up yourself, but if you just look at the word itself, slight, you can figure out who has slight care, who has ordinary care, and who has great care. Sometimes, some people might have both, but you can probably tell overall who has this in your life. Like my great grandmother would probably have great care.
And why is that?
She comes from that, man. I mean, she came from that. She's no longer here, but that's what they came from. Back in those days, I think they moved a lot different than we move, and they paid a lot more attention to each other. And however it is, then how the generations change, you kind of lose that. Like you say, the more they are in tune with it. Like he was saying, anything that you can come up with, bro. If you got anything that's wrong with you, a headache, a cough, a cold, diarrhea, a broke, back in the days,
there would be like some type of natural
medication.
Yes.
Herbs.
There you go.
Whatever great grandma then was doing, castor oil, all those things would remove things out of you, man.
Just simple soup.
A simple, real soup though, not Campbell's.
Right. Something
bioengineered, the soup with the bones in it.
Oh man.
So like he was saying earlier, we get desensitized. I think it's generations past because we see a lot more things go on. They didn't see all these things, man. All these things wasn't happening. They could take care of themselves better. They lived longer. I remember they said they wasn't going to the hospital and all that for things. What I need to go there for, unless they really had to go. Man, my great grandmother was like 113 or something like that. My great grandmother, her daughter was my great grandmother. She was like probably 100 and something. Then my grandmother, she was like 90 something, you know, and I mean,
everybody lived well past 80.
And you can tell why. You know, they had a different care. If you ask me, they lived a different life. We don't live that way. So, you know, care is null and void.
Well,
depending on, you know, like we were saying earlier, we know what it's meant to be, but when you start breaking it down, you want to read care as a noun on the etymology online?
It says here care, Old English, caru or sorrow, anxiety, grief, also burdens of mind, serious mental attention, also concern, anxiety caused by apprehension of evil or the weight of many burdens. From Proto-Germanic caru, lament, grief, care. Also Anglo-Saxon cara, meaning sorrow, wail, lament, Gothic, sorrow, trouble, care.
Yeah, stop right there. So that's the noun of it. So the point is, all of that, no, you should take it back. All of that is nothing but negativity. There's nothing, all of that, would you want your girl to have all of that? Or do you think that she would want you to have all of that in your brain?
Not in my brain personally. I think most women already have this though.
Okay, that's understandable. What I'm saying is, you don't want her to have all of this because, you know, these things can get you sick, and then you have to go see the healthcare provider. You know what I'm saying? This is real spill, bro. So let me read this verb because I was gonna make a point.
Yeah, sorrow, trouble.
Check this verb of care out, because I was making a point earlier, and I said I hope you keep this word in your mental Rolodex because it's gonna go right back to that. So check this out. Old English, carrying, Syrian, be anxious or solicitous, grieve, feel concern or interest. From Proto-Germanic caro, lament, hence grief, care. Source also of Old Saxon, caring. Remember I was talking about Rashad Ritchie in that undisputable show that he got, I Wish a Karen Would, right?
Karen.
It says it right there. Source also Old Saxon, Karen, man. That name, you couldn't make this up with a stack of Bibles. They got a whole show of white women. Not only white women. It'd be some black chicks on there. It'd be some dudes. Women? It'd be some dudes that they'll call Karen. They probably need to change his name to something else. But you have these people that are flipping out with all these concerns. Once again, be anxious or solicitous, grieve, feel concern or interest. Hence, grief, care, caring, to lament, to care, to sorrow, complain. That's all that Karen does on that show, Indisputable. All she does is complain, dog. Old High German sharing, complain, lament, Gothic, caring, be anxious. Said to be from Paru, gar, cry out, call, scream. Come on, man. Come on. There's no way in the world that you knew that to care meant this. So we would have to like figure out another terminology or something, man, because it just don't make sense. If you caring enough to do all of this, I don't want you to care for me. That's all I'm saying. If you are caring and you caring, man, look here. Like I said previously, I'm still stuck on this thing. Where did it go? The term itself has shifted from its original emotionally heavy roots to a more functional, professional, and often impersonal term driven by the professionalization of medicine and changing societal structures. The word has moved from describing internal states of sorrow to describing external actions of service and management.
That sums it up right there.
Healthcare. Once again, that's what healthcare is. Where caring is emotional, it replaced empathy with technical efficiency. Society has moved from the community-based familial approach, supporting the vulnerable, to where care is a service purchased or provided by professionals. Like I said before, that just means you can't do this. I have an institution for you. You don't need your family. That literally says that you don't need your family, bro. Society has moved from the community-based familial approach, supporting the vulnerable, to where care is a service purchased or provided by professionals. What I say earlier, that's a nursing home.
Okay. Yeah, I love my family. I need my family. And I know you my family. Hell, sometimes we all we got.
I mean, if you've been knowing somebody for 50 years, I mean, come on, man. I've been, you develop a rapport that becomes family. He ain't no longer a friend. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Right.
A brother's a family. I call you bro all the time. And, once again, that word, I don't necessarily think that it's negative. I see that it's negative, and I no longer want to use it in these ways that I care for something. This is just real. This is just me. Because I didn't know that we either got to be talking about tripping out, or I got to go to the doctor to care. Real spill. The West says, check this out. The West says dependence is a burden. This is what the West says. Probably since they got here, the 1500s or 1400s or something like that. The West says dependence is a burden, changing universal human obligation to a service. Once again, healthcare.
So, wait a minute. See, now we have to do some more homework. When did healthcare start?
Well, that word itself, all you have to do is just pull it up. Let's see. Because I don't know. Because once again, I think I did see something like that. Hold on. I don't know if the word healthcare itself started, before care did. And care started, like I said, 15th century, something like that.
Well, it says one of the world's oldest medical systems emerged in India and is still practiced today. So we're talking about 1500, but you go back to the ancient times, it says, I don't know, once again.
They didn't call it care though, bro.
No, they didn't call it health care.
Exactly.
Well, it says folk remedies, so spiritual rituals. I know they probably weren't using those words exactly, but yeah.
And then once again, you know, there's two different, you know, words. You got health, space, care. Then you have health care, that's one word altogether. You know, you have health care, which would be the older version, and then you have health care, which would be, you know, what they provide for us, your insurance or whatever. And they put that right. They said that this the change. No, the removing the space reflects the change because it wasn't a space before. It was health space care. When they removed the space is when it changed. Now I don't remember what year that is, but they said that was the change. It reflected the change of no more emotions, no more care. We're caring, and we have your emotions in check for you with these oxycontins and these whatever it is, they gabapentins and
Exactly.
Those things.
And that's what it's saying. When written as one word, healthcare typically refers to the industry, business, or institution.
Exactly.
Writing it as two words, health, care, is standard for many formal style guides.
Exactly.
Which is to describe the actual provision of care. Once again, we're gonna care for you.
That's my whole point.
We're gonna take you exactly where you can get some care. We got care for you if you want care. So who cares? I guess it depends on what country you live in and where you was raised. How you was raised, how you live.
It depends on if your mind is troubled or if you in the hospital, bro. That's the care that you get. Like I said, we know how we feel about each other. But once again,
but what if you had, where's the hospitals? If there's no hospitals, how do you get care? Who cares then?
You get it from the psychiatrist. You get it from the institution. The mental institution. Before it was a hospital and a mental institution, we cared for self. Then somebody came and changed the game. They made drugs. They literally made drugs, and they literally took our castles and made mental institutions out of them and hospitals. This is real.
This is sad.
Hey, and since the 1980s, I know that ain't that long ago, like the 1500s or whatever it is, but since the 1980s, they've been trying to change or redefine care away from medicine back into the emotionalism, the listening, the compassion, and whatever, but they haven't changed it because the medical field rules, dog. The medical field has changed the word or the term of care. The profession. Bro, that's outstanding. Like I said, who cares has a whole different meaning to me. Why to care? Because if I really care, I'm gonna blow up on somebody. And they ain't gonna think I'm caring. They're gonna think I'm caring.
Not caring.
But caring.
Yeah, you're gonna be carrying, all right.
And that's
In
something,
cuffs like these Karens.
that's something that, you have to
For
work
Karen.
out.
You gonna get cuffed like a Karen for Karen.
Exactly. That's something that because the next time somebody asks, you got to make a choice. If you was paying attention to what it really means, you have to make a choice, a conscious decision on, do I tell the truth, or especially if it's your woman, you got a significant other. If she don't know nothing about this and you ain't never brought this up, and then she asks you, what's wrong with you? Do you care? And you be like, hell no. My mind is clear. I ain't got no trouble of mine. You will see.
She gonna think you don't care. And then you're gonna have to explain why you shouldn't and you don't.
No, you not. You gonna see the Karen come out of her. She gonna turn into a whole Karen.
Oh.
A whole one.
There you go.
A black one.
Oh, not a black one. I don't know about the black one. The black one's terrible.
Yeah, she ain't using her Karenism for privilege. She's using it to damage.
That's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
Something's getting wrecked.
So that's the moral to the story. Do you care enough to tell somebody that you don't care, because you know the definition is not what you're doing? You're not troubled of mind. You don't have grief. You don't have sorrow. You don't have lamentation. You don't have wicked things in your brain. This is the original terminology or the definition of what care is. So do you have the testicular fortitude to stand on it, or do you gonna be like, yeah, baby, I care?
Shit, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell my baby, hell yeah, I care. God damn it, what the fuck? You know I care, baby. I love you and all of that shit.
That's what you're gonna hear. And maybe.
Oh, damn.
2 shots.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the next episode. Just know where you at. This is Kansas City. We ain't got nothing but love for you. Go slow.
Okay, I'm Eric Stafford with the Kansas City Tour Company. You can go to my website at www.kansascitytourcompany.com to confirm your booking for any of our regularly scheduled historic tours. So we do tours down here on 18th and Vine, Bebop and Beyond 18th and Vine walking tour, also Streetcar KC, a River City Mafia tour, and Streetcar KC, a River City Civil Rights tour, and I also do a Black History bus tour as well. All my tours are customized. Kids 17 and under are free on my tours, our tours, as long as they're with one paid adult, and it's a maximum of 2 kids per adult.
Again, I'm Eric Stafford, owner of the Kansas City Tour Company. We offer regularly scheduled historic tours. Born and raised here in Kansas City. Went to Raytown South High School, in Penn Valley Community College, Lincoln University. Made my way to CMSU, Central Missouri State University, now known as UCM. And there I graduated with a degree in history. And came back to Kansas City and taught school at a school for at-risk youth, the alternative school. One of the early charter schools, Genesis School. But that's where I got the idea that's where the seed was planted to start doing tours here in Kansas City in regards to Kansas City's Black history. So it used to be called the Hip Hop Tours, and it was part of the Genesis School curriculum, part of the social studies curriculum.
Right.
And I was a social studies teacher, and it was supposed to be student-led, but I ended up doing most of the work being a teacher. But I developed a passion for Kansas City's Black history. So I would bring in guests like Sonny Gibson. He's a mentor of mine. He's in his late 80s, closing in on 90 right now. Alvin Brooks came to my classroom, talked to the students. So I had a lot of people pour into me throughout the years, but I've been doing the Kansas City Black History Bus Tour since 2008.
So, right to your right, if you look right over here, is Parade Park. And Parade Park in 1914 was designated as the blacks for the park for Negroes. Was Parade Park. That was the only park that for Negroes that blacks could go to.
Literally.
Yeah, that was the only park in the city for Negroes.
Wasn't no swope.
No
No loose.
No swope, no loose. Actually, Swope Park, the only place that blacks could go in Swope Park was a place called Watermelon Hill,
Exactly.
Shelter House number 5.
Wow.
And they, even though they were paying for the maintenance of Swope Park through their taxes, they did not have access to the swimming pools, the golf courses, the basketball courts, or the tennis courts, or the swimming pool, okay, up until 1951.
So you trying to tell me that Watermelon Hill
Was the only place.
No, I'm just even saying the name.
Yeah, it was called
Hill.
Watermelon Hill, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but it was Shelter House number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, but they did refer to it as Watermelon Hill. There's a nigger hill in Independence, Missouri.
Please don't say that.
It was.
For the love of the laptop with the gigaflop G4 chip pool. Process quick and don't skip like a disc do. On the 411, we're gonna max and chill like Devin. Put the shipment in the truck, keep the engine revving. Stuck in the dock station, clucks fiend for 7-2. Get toasted like crescent roll on scroll, boasted who old and beautiful. With the suitable ropes, transported to that. CDs packed, attach the herb label tracks, and we'll get away into line properly. Stack property like Monopoly. Where other failed attempts crawl away sloppily and possibly take over hostility if it's got to be by force. Tap into the source, shift niggas off their courses for royalties and endorsements. Split it into portions with the tetragram of capacity consumed, release nothing but stamina. A room on an amateur, feats too quick, fools get hit.